Fight, no arrests were made.
A growing threat in the water.
You try to swim and it just grabs every limb that you have.
How an invasive plant could have an impact on anyone hitting the water this summer. Plus, honoring fallen officers in Portsmouth. Hear from those closest to them about their sacrifice. Bodies of water right here in coastal Virginia. Experts say Hydrilla is a threat to fishing, boating, even swimmers. Tonight, how some people are trying to fight the invasive plant.
A potentially dangerous weed has a chokehold on some of our waterways.
This is called Hydrilla. This is an invasive plant species that, left unchecked, could hurt recreational swimming and boating.
Eric Kane has been looking into the potential impacts and how people are trying to stop it from spreading.
Water makes up a big part of the way we live here, and experts say this so-called superweed threatens that precious resource.
Come here, big boy.
Fishing, swimming, and boating, they all make up a way of life in Edenton. But rising to the surface is a threat growing under the water.
It's so thick sometimes you can't even get into it.
Fisherman Linwood O'Neill is fighting Hydrilla, an invasive plant species known to have a chokehold on some waterways.
You couldn't motor through it, you couldn't even hardly push through it. So as far as from a recreational fishing standpoint, it's pretty bad stuff.
Locals are seeing thick beds of the weed clogging rivers and washing up in people's yards.
Oh, there absolutely is a public safety risk.
Head of the Chowan County Emergency Dive Team, James Bell, says the widespread growth has become dangerous.
You try to swim and it just grabs every limb that you have. We look like the Swamp Thing. I mean, you literally will have these reeds covering you from head to toe.
Dr. Kenneth Moore has spent 15 years studying Hydrilla at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science.
This plant will grow very thick and affect recreation, potentially affect water quality, and have other problems.
Originally from Asia, Hydrilla has spread worldwide over the past few decades.
Doesn't have a lot of structure to it. It just breaks apart. In fact, that's one of the ways it spreads, because each little piece like this will now begin to grow.
In water with low salinity levels, Hydrilla can spread fast, and Moore says we're largely responsible.
The main way that this is moved around, we think, is by humans on boats, by getting it wrapped in propellers, or you get it on the boat, and then you put it in a new lake and it spreads. So a lot of lakes, recreational lakes, there's a real attempt to make people aware of this.
A group of Edenton students at John Holmes High School have spent the past year doing just that.
We're the Hydrilla Gorillas.
We have to have the entire community, and we have to have everyone else's participation for it.
As part of their outreach effort, the students are putting rakes and barrels out in marinas, encouraging boaters to scrape off the weed to stop the spread.
Kind of an interesting process, just because a lot of people don't realize the effect that it can have.
The students know they face an uphill battle, but they have help from a community looking to pitch in.
I try to knock it off my boat. I try to make sure it's not, going to another body of water. This is a real special place.
Hydrilla should be starting to bloom soon and pick up over the summer. During that time, the Edenton High School students say they will continue reaching out to the community to spread the word and stop the spread of the superweed. Eric Kane, 13 News Now.